So hello everyone, my name is Alan from Al's Basketball Training, and today I'm going to talk to you about why you should have spin on your shot. And that's when you have backspin on the basketball when you're shooting the ball. Now, unless you've been living under a cave or in a cave, you have probably seen the shot that has basically gone around the world, and that's Kawhi Leonard's game-winning Game 7 shot that he hit, and it bounced like crazy. And there's reasons for that. So for one, when it comes to physics, if you shoot the basketball and the ball has a high arc and it has backspin, it's going to land really softly on the rim, which will allow it to bounce around like we've seen in that shot. Now, when you're shooting a basketball and you shoot in without an arc and it shoots straight, you're basically looking at the rim or having the ball look at the rim like this. While when you have arc on your shot, you're basically allowing the ball to see the rim like this, which gives it a greater target for you to shoot at. But today we're going to be talking about spin and why you need it on your shot. Basically, with having spin on your shot, it allows it to cut through the air a little bit better. However, the biggest thing is when it lands on the rim, it lands a lot softer. So you have a greater chance of it bouncing in to the rim itself. Now, if you've ever had a chance to really dissect Kawhi Leonard's shot, he has a ton of spin on his shot. And the reason why he's able to get that spin, it's not because his hands are double the size of anyone else's hands. It's because he has a lot of wrist strength, and when he shoots, he really flicks his wrist. Now, he doesn't tend to shoot with a lot of arc on his shot, but he gets a lot of spin, which allows it to kind of pop in a little bit easier. That's why you can see him shoot and those like really straight shots, and somehow they kind of bounce in and it lands really softly on the rim, so it just kind of like rolls around a bit. And this is why, it's because of backspin. Now, the number one thing that you need to keep in mind when you want to have spin on your shot is to have it roll off the middle finger on your hand. Now, the reason behind this is because it is the longest finger, and by having it roll off maybe these two fingers, it's going to go a little bit right. If you have it roll off those two fingers, it's going to be a little bit left. That's because the middle finger is longer than the rest, and if you have more than one contact piece at the end, it will be rolling off left or right. And this is why a lot of players, even though their form is really good, it shows that, or the shot shows left or right. And this is the smallest reason, but the biggest reason at the same time, why somebody's shot form could look really good, but they're always missing their shot. So that is the first tip, is to have it roll off that middle finger last, and right off the middle of it too. Now, another little tip is also having wrist strength. Now, I've got a lot of other videos that I will post below in the top comment section where it will allow you to now get stronger wrists. But the reason why you want stronger wrists is obviously having the ball roll off the finger is going to give you a little bit of spin. But if you really flick hard, it's going to give you a lot faster of a shot, but it's going to give you a lot more spin on that ball. As we can see here, I might put it in slow motion if I remember. I'm going to shoot, and if I just slowly hit or flick my wrist, it's going to spin around. But if I flick it faster, it's going to go around a lot more faster. It's going to spin a lot faster, and the faster that basketball spins when it hits that rim, it's going to have a higher chance of bouncing in. Now, a couple of drills that you can do to practice getting more spin on the ball, or even just getting spin in general on the ball, is the 1-inch drill, or what we call the 1-inch drill up here in Canada. And that is when you're roughly 1 inch away from the rim, and you just stand here in your form and you shoot straight up. Now, just like you've seen right there, it will be feeling like you're shooting backwards, but you're really not. And your first couple of shots will be like that. And then, after a while, once you get used to it, you're going to start getting a couple of swishes, and you're going to continue like that. And I want you to go and hit 10 swishes in a row. Now, if you hit the rim, that's okay. Depending on how far advanced or how many times you've been trying this drill, if it hits the rim, you can reset yourself back to 0, or you can just count it as nothing and keep on going. It's up to you. If you're just starting off, if it's the first time of you shooting with spin, I might say just count it as 0, but if you've been doing this for a long time, then I would say reset to 0. And then you'll take a few steps back, you'll get into your regular form, and now you're gonna be taking a couple of more shots. I would say another 10. This way, you're gonna be still practicing that spin. And as you've seen right there, I hit the front of the rim, but with that backspin, it was able to stop the ball from popping forward too far and bouncing out, and it was able to stop it and let it just kind of drop in. Now, another tip that I can give you to shoot with more spin on your shot is to use your fingertips. Now, I've been a big advocate for using fingertips. You don't want to be using the palm. It doesn't give you as much grip. When you're gripping the ball, if you can actually like palm a basketball, you're going to be using your fingertips, and the reason is they give you more dexterity, they give you more strength, and it's the same reason why you want to be using the fingertips when you're shooting a basketball. Now, if you're saying in the comments, because I've had a few comments like this, when I start shooting with spin or I start shooting with arc, I'm not getting a shot that I can shoot farther anymore. I used to be able to jack up 3-pointers, but now I can't even touch rim when I'm doing that. The reason is you need to use more legs. Anytime your shot is short, you need to jump higher. And by putting more spin on the ball, as we could hear Kawhi Leonard in his interview after the game, he jumped as high as he could. Obviously, he was going up against the 7'2" center, but he had to jump as high as he could. And it wasn't just to get the ball over Embiid, it was to actually put more power on his shot. Because when you shoot with more spin, it's going to reduce the amount of distance you have to shoot. So more legs, the farther your shot. And then if you're shooting too far, you're shooting way over the backboard, way over the rim, put more arc on it. And to do that, reach up as high as you can. You don't want to be shooting forward. That's going to give you no arc whatsoever. Shoot up high, and it's going to give you way more arc on the ball. If your shot's long, more arc. If your shot is short, more legs. I hope that you have enjoyed. If you have, hit that like button, subscribe, and I will see you guys again tomorrow for another daily basketball video. It's finally starting to be sunny out. Yeah.